Hi guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be going through the review of the Sydney vs GWS game, in which GWS snatched at the end by a point. So before we get into it, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into the video. So, Latham starred for the Swans, and the big talking point, I guess, out of this game was, has Lathams done enough to hold his spot and for them to get rid of, or for them to swap out McLean for Hickey? And I think that's probably going to be the case, as McLean basically didn't do anything this whole game. Yes, he ended up with a 48, but a lot of those 15 or so points of those came from hit outs, I want to say. Does McLean have? There we go. McLean, 16 hit outs, 6-2-2. Yeah, just didn't look as good as he's been in some other games, and he's really struggling to put the goals on the scoreboard as well. So we'll see if they do that, but it sucks because Lathams, I don't think, really can play forward at all, but that might be the case that he has to play forward. Goulden back to his best of 116, hit his break even, which was really good, and yeah, just gonna go up in cash now, and hopefully he's got the role that we really like out of him, and yes, it's not necessarily absolutely in the middle, but I think he actually works better off a wing because he gets that extra split second of time, and Goulden with more time is one of the best kicks in the comp. But Jordan under pressure is one of the worst kicks in the comp. So giving him that extra like half a second of time when he comes in off the wing and is able to, I guess, know where everyone is, because he's only really not knowing the where his opponent is, his other winger is behind him, but being able to see everyone else, he's able to make a better decision and doesn't leak the free kicks. I mean, he didn't have a free kick against, I don't think, and he probably should have had a couple more for him. He had one here for him, but no free kicks against, I don't believe, no. So that was really good. Warner, 113, looked really dominant in the last quarter. I mean, he got 52 in the last, and yeah. And if he hadn't had that tackle away, it would have been a 56-point last, but just couldn't get them over the line. Parker was really good in terms of fancy and just in terms of actually how he played the game, and probably would have got the medal if it wasn't for Toby Green, and had a 62-point last on top of a 50-point 62-point second half I should say, on top of a 50-point first. Lloyd looked really, really good. He somehow took some contested marks. I don't know how, but you know, I think he's going to be one that's going to stick around with the Swans as they go through a change of players here, where they're really going to change to, I think they got to change to add some height somewhere, because they're all under 6'1", basically, all their guys. And it looks like the new norm is to basically have guys that are around 6'3", 6'4", it looks like. So I think Lloyd's going to be one of the ones that sticks around, but other guys like Cunningham and others will go, as they just have no height. And then you've got Hayward here, ended up with this 86, Heaney 82. Heaney's he's just not putting up a consistent score, and he's the type of guy that I think you could later on in the season just pick up and just hope he picks up form, because he has the ability to go 100 plus and slot him in at that F6 role. Mills 81 just hasn't got a good role, but he somehow ended up with 78 with 3 goals too, I want to say, but didn't turn up in the last. Rowbottom's been really disappointing this year, to be honest. McDonald did nothing in the first quarter, basically, and then had a good second and third where he kicked 3 goals in the end for him. So it was an alright performance from him. Campbell, then you have Clark here, and Clark warmed into it, I guess, and sort of he didn't kicked 1 goal, 1 in the end. So I mean, that miss that he had, he probably should have kicked it, and I mean, the Swans are probably ruining all the chances that they missed in the end, as some of them were very easy chances to at least tie the game, let alone win it. And then Stevens has been really disappointing. this year, to be honest. Just hasn't got his hands on the footy, and yeah, I think he's one that the Swans will keep around, but it's, I think, one now where I'm actually preferring Roberts in that wing role over Stevens. So when Roberts comes back, I hope they actually play him over Stevens at the moment, because Stevens has been pretty woeful. McLean, as I said, I didn't think he had a good game. Papa's good first half, really all right, and then just didn't do anything in the last. Didn't get many calls to go his way, to be honest. Blakey did nothing in the first quarter and nothing overall. Florent, Cunningham, Francis was actually all right for the score he put up. I thought he actually was one of the Swans' best, even though he put up a 28. He spoiled 4 or 5 marks and saved a goal in the end. And then for the Swans, and this is the problem with not having any height, is they basically allowed Tom Green, who's I think 6'4", 6'5", to just do whatever the hell he wanted, and he ended up with almost 40 touches, I want to say. 31 touches, so not 40, 31 touches, 13 tackles, so he just did whatever he wanted to do, and ended up with a 136. Perryman, a 115. Good first quarter, but then started to fade, but we'll see how he goes in the next couple of rounds to see if he can, with that break even, if that's going to drop heavily, as he's probably going to drop to below 650k, and in a couple of rounds he might be a guy to pick up if you can afford it, as you could almost do a swap of I might almost do a swap of him to Zeeble if he's going to put up 100 scores, and Zeeble potentially has the ability to do a hamstring. Then you got Kelly here, a 38-point last, huge. Cornelio, 101, pretty big again. Callahan had a huge start and then faded pretty massively. Toby Green, the match winner in the end, kicked, I think it was 4 goals in the end and had 22 touches. Lockie Ash had a pretty good game. Whitfield again, huge last quarter, as for some reason Clark seemed to go off him, and he was able to get the ball and basically almost just held it together for them, as the Swans should have kicked another. The Swans were 1 goal away from breaking the game open again, and it seems like Whitfield just broke the tag in that time. As you can see here, he had He had 30 points in the last 8 minutes of the game, so that pretty much tells you what happened. O'Halloran here, if I look at Clark, was he off at that time? He didn't do anything, so I wonder if they have bench splits to see if Whitfield was on and Clark was off, and that's the reason. O'Halloran had a really good first half, but then faded really strongly. Ended up with a 77 after a 65-point first half. Haynes, Peatling, Himmelberg didn't go down back, so there's no role there for him, as it was Buckley that did it, as they actually have a pretty tall forward back line, so they didn't need Himmelberg down back. They needed more of those smaller defenders. England looks all right, so maybe he's the only rookie option I really see as an option going into next round, as it seems like he's held his place. So I could do that and put Holland on field, and then get the likes of Steele or Oliver, etc. Probably Steele, honestly, because of his bye round being round 12. And then you've got Bedford, Cadman, and Ralston, so that's pretty much it. So if I go back to the main screen, that's my review of the Sydney versus GWS game, and how GWS just snuck in at the end and won it, and how the Swans basically it's not season over for the Swans, but it's not the season that I think they were expecting, and yes, it's going to be a slump season for them, as they've been found out for pretty much being too small, it seems like, and not, I mean, they have had a lot of injury problems, etc., that are still ongoing, but we'll see what they do in the following weeks and in the draft next year, I guess. So thanks, guys, and I'll see you guys in another video.